Hello, my name is Rebecca Williams, and today I will be interviewing Mr. Nicholaus, a TxSU alumnus and my former radio teacher. Hello, how are you doing today?
Fine, thanks. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. So, Mr. Strong, where are you from?
Originally from Chicago, Illinois. Chi-Town is my town.
Okay. And where did you pursue your education?
I graduated from Texas Southern University, 2007. Right, got my degree in communications. After I graduated with my undergrad, I then enrolled to get my master's from Texas Southern, and I graduated in 2012.
Okay. So, what made you come to Houston?
I played baseball at Texas Southern back in 2004. TxSU was actually my third school. I was actually a transfer. I went to a school up in Chicago my first year. Then I went to a community college in California my second year. And by the time the spring came of 2004, I said I want to make that choice, and it was the right choice to enroll in the HBCU.
All right. So what do you do now? What is your occupation?
I'm still a school teacher. I teach during the day over at Westbury High School, but I also coach baseball at University of Houston downtown. And I still do some sports commentating. I still do a little sports journalism, which was my major at Texas Southern, broadcast journalism. So I'm kind of dabbling in everything.
Okay. So while you was at TxSU, what was your favorite moment that was related to your field of study?
It had to be the time when Dr. Serbino Center for Walker, had a come to Jesus moment with me. At that time, I was in the Friday class, advanced broadcast, and we used to do the radio broadcast. And I just thought I was so good. I thought I was like the best there ever was, the best there ever will be, etc. And one day I showed up late to the broadcast. I had all my stuff together, I was ready to get on air and blah, 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 blah. And then I did my newscast, and I kind of added something that I shouldn't have added because I just thought I could do that, but I really couldn't. And she said, you know what, you'll never be on one of my newscasts ever again. And if she's watching, she'll tell you the story. She benched me pretty much. She benched me. And she put in the sub that she replaced me for was a TxSU graduate. He was kind of the guy who kind of came in and told me how to, hey, you need to relax. Yeah, you good, you got the stuff, but you need to relax. And he kind of had a come to Jesus moment with me as well. Brandon Watson, one of my good friends. Brandon Watson on Facebook, one of my good friends. So we still keep in contact to this day. Miss Serbino Center for Walker, we still keep in contact to this day. And every time I bring my students up to visit her at Texas Southern, she tells them that story. So just some mode of, you had to kind of learn how to get in your place. I had to learn how to relax and do me and not overdo everything. You're gonna get the tools to be successful at Texas Southern, but you don't need to overdo it.
Okay, thank you for that.
You welcome.
And from your point of view as a TxSU alumnus, what are 2 things that needs improvement at TxSU?
I think the Alumni Relations could use a little help. We have a lot to give in terms of knowledge, in terms of people giving back. I mean, there are a lot of alumni, a lot of alums from TxSU in the communication department doing positive things. And I'll even go as far as say this, yeah, we may have got our degree in communication, but some people have dibbled and dabbled out into other fields related to communication. You have alumni like Tony Wiley, who's VP of Communications for the Redskins. You have producers around Houston, former anchors, Doug Deloney. You got Russell Tennyson doing big things. And then we come back and some of our alums are teachers now. So we have a lot of alums, teaching at TxSU. So I just think I would like to see more, alumni events, us kind of getting together, kind of seeing how we can kind of help mold the future generation, maybe even start a scholarship fund, or maybe even start a new curriculum.
Okay. So what advice would you give to TxSU students in communications?
The advice I would give is, because you go to an HBCU, because you go to Texas Southern, you have an upper hand. You're in the 8th largest media market in the country, which is Houston, Texas. So You have 5 local, English stations here, or major English stations. If you speak Spanish, you have, 2 major Spanish stations right here in Houston, Texas. I'm not a fan of the people of the graduate going far out away to work early on. If you can make those connections here in Houston while you're in college, sophomore, junior, senior year, you can get a job right out of Texas Southern, and it's been proven. Anchors like, reporters like Doug Deloney, Nakia Cooper, all these folks have done things right out of Texas Southern, so sophomore year, if you're serious about, communications and graduating with that degree after you graduate here, make those connections starting early on. I'm not a big fan of internships. I know some people will probably jump on me about that, but I'm a fan of externships or mentorships. If you can find you somebody who's a decision maker right here in the city of Houston, you kind of shadow that person, let that person mentor you. When that job becomes available by the time you graduate, you better mark my words, you're going to be in consideration for it.
Thank you so much for that.
Now you know.
Yes. All right, I'm Rebecca Williams with Mr. Nicholaus Strong. Thank you, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Go Tigers.